Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. In this tutorial you're going to learn how to create this beautiful cross-stitch Christmas ornament. So I hope you like it. If you wanted to use the same patterns, please make sure to follow us also on Instagram at Suzana Cross Stitch. So let's get started. You're going to need some Aida fabric and a needle, fabrics in different patterns, ribbons that you like to add to your arrangement, thread. I use a gold string, a styrofoam ball, a knife, piece of cardstock, a pair of scissors. I use two type ones, a smaller and larger one here, cuticle puller or stick, a brush, a pencil or a pen, a erasable marker, the ones that you can iron on and it disappears, a ruler, some craft glue, some pins, some colorful plastic, and the iron to erase your marker, okay? So the first thing is to mark north and south poles on your styrofoam ball. So you can use the guidelines to help you find them. Use the pins to mark north and south. So now you need to measure your circumference to find out its perimeter. And then from that you can divide that number by the number of segments you want to make. In this situation, I'm gonna cut now from my cardstock 2 strips. They are around 5 millimeters each. I'm gonna create one that's gonna be long enough to go from north to south, and the other one gonna be 1/6 of the total circumference. I'm gonna now use these strips as a ruler to mark my styrofoam ball. So I secure them with pins so they don't move whilst I'm drawing on my ball. And now I'm using the smaller piece that I divided by 6 to create each segment, and then I can mark my ball all around it. So now you have all of the segments. Now you're going to use the knife to create the splits. Make sure you go with your knife as deep as you can inside your ball. Now I'm using here a cuticle puller to open even more those splits. You don't need to use a cuticle puller. A stick or maybe a skewer will help you to open those splits a bit more. Now use your plastic bag and secure it with pins around your ball. You're going to use lots and lots of pins so it doesn't move. And when you're cutting it, use your knife from the middle of your ball to the edges. That way it's gonna be easier for you to cut. And you're going to use that as the pattern. Now use glue to stick your pattern onto your cardstock and use a marker to outline that shape. Now just cut around it to create your first pattern. So now using that pattern you just done, you can now create an extra outline. So add a bit of a 5 millimeters edge around that pattern to create a second one. So you need two patterns, a smaller one and a larger one, like I'm doing here. Now, using the smaller pattern, just draw 3 shapes on your fabric and you can start cross stitching on it. Now, use the larger patterns to create an extra outline, okay? Make sure to use the erasable markers here. And also make sure that your cross stitch is as tidy as possible because that's gonna avoid lumps on your Christmas bow when it's ready. Note that I'm cutting the wider outline. Now, with the wider pattern, just draw 3 shapes on your fabric and cut it. Now, using your brush, spread the glue in one of your segments. I normally fold my fabric to find its middle. I think it's easier for you to apply that way, so use your fabric and a pin, find its center and centralize it with your segment. Use the pins to secure it in place. Wait to dry just a few minutes. Now, using the back of your knife, you are going to start to introduce your fabric inside your splits. Now, use the scissors to cut any excess fabric, and that's gonna help you to introduce your fabric easily. Now just repeat it to the other segments that you're gonna apply fabric to. Do the same process with your cross stitch piece. So now it's ready, you have all of your segments. Now use the gold string just to create a beautiful division on your segments by crossing it. I use the pin here just to help me cross it in the different directions. So I think it's an easier way to make sure everything is centralized. Now use your ribbons to create 3 bows. Now use pins to secure your bows in places and use the excess of the string that you cross around your bow to tie them together. If you liked this tutorial, please make sure to hit the like button below and to subscribe to our channel for our next videos. Also, don't forget to turn on notifications. Thank you. Have a lovely Christmas.